Guardian of Shielkodi, Protector of the Realm. Episode 8. Season 2 teaser. A new threat arises. The legacy of the Guardian, the Tower of Astral Secrets. However, his path took an unexpected turn when he found himself facing imminent danger, outnumbered and outmatched by a horde of demonic creatures. In a desperate bid for survival, Aryaman made a pact with a powerful she-wolf, sacrificing his solitude to gain her allegiance and formidable strength. As Aryaman's bond with the wolf deepened, he wrestled with conflicting emotions, torn between his duty to his first love and newfound feelings for his unlikely companion. Despite his internal struggle, Aryaman's commitment to his cause remained unwavering as he ventured forth to confront the malevolent forces that threatened to unleash chaos upon the realm. Despite the adversity he faced, Aryaman remained steadfast in his quest to protect his loved ones and the world they inhabited. With unwavering determination, he stood as a beacon of hope amidst the encroaching darkness, inspiring others to join him in his fight for justice and freedom. In the crucible of conflict, Aryaman's character was tested, his mettle tempered by fire and adversity. Through sacrifice and selflessness, he emerged not only as a great protector and savior but also as a beacon of hope for all who sought refuge from the shadows that threatened to consume them. For Aryaman was more than a warrior, he was a guardian, a protector, and a symbol of hope in a world besieged by darkness. And as long as his spirit burned bright, the forces of evil would tremble in fear at the mere mention of his name. Weeks passed, and the tales of Aryaman's triumph spread across the realm, inspiring hope among the oppressed and fear among the wicked. However, Aryaman remained vigilant, knowing that Sorat was merely a harbinger of the greater evil that lurked in the shadows. One evening, as Aryaman made his way through a desolate village ravaged by dark forces, he encountered an old hermit who spoke of a hidden power that could aid him in his quest. The hermit spoke in riddles, but Aryaman's keen mind unraveled the cryptic message, leading him to the ancient cavern of echoes, where it was said the spirit of the guardian wolf resided. The cavern, shrouded in mystic fog, emanated an aura of ancient magic. Aryaman ventured deeper, guided by the faint glow of bioluminescent fungi that lined the cavern walls. The air grew colder, and the whispers of long, forgotten spirits echoed through the labyrinthine passages. Finally, he reached a vast chamber where the spirit of the she-wolf, Kalaratri, awaited. Her form was ethereal, eyes glowing with an otherworldly light as she gazed upon Aryaman with a mixture of curiosity and ancient wisdom. Why have you come, mortal? Her voice echoed, both powerful and serene. Aryaman bowed respectfully. Great Spirit, I seek your aid to protect our realm from the darkness that threatens to consume it. Kalaratri studied him for a moment, sensing the purity of his intentions and the burden of his destiny. To forge a bond with me, you must prove your worth and a willingness to embrace both the light and the darkness within you. Without warning, Kalaratri lunged at Aryaman, her spectral form becoming solid as she tested his strength and resolve. The battle was fierce, but Aryaman fought with unwavering determination, his every move a testament to his courage and skill. Despite the ferocity of the confrontation, he held back from delivering a fatal blow, showing respect and understanding for the spirit, yes test. Satisfied, Kalaratri stepped back, her form returning to its ethereal state. You have proven your worth, Aryaman. I shall lend you my strength, but know that our bond is not one of master and servant. We are equals, partners in this fight against the encroaching darkness. With a nod of agreement, Aryaman and Kalaratri performed the ancient ritual of binding. As their essences intertwined, Aryaman felt a surge of power unlike anything he had ever known. The spirit of the wolf now coursed through his veins, granting him heightened senses, agility, and the ability to communicate with Kalaratri in times of need. The bond forged, Aryaman emerged from the cavern, a renewed sense of purpose driving him forward. Yet, as he ventured back into the world, he couldn't shake the feeling that his journey was about to become even more perilous. The elder with the white beard, who had initially welcomed Aryaman, addressed the gathering. Aryaman, your victory over Malakar has bought us time, but the darkness that threatens Shielkodi is vast and relentless. We must form a sacred alliance, an unbreakable bond between the mightiest forces in our realm. Aryaman nodded. I agree. We need more than just Vashkara to stand against the darkness. We must rally the other great powers of Shialkodi and forge a united front. The elder continued, there are three key allies we must seek out. The elves of the Evershade Forest, the dwarves of the Ironclad Mountains, and the mages of the Astral Tower. Each holds a unique power that, when combined, can form the sacred alliance needed to repel the dark forces. Ananya stepped forward, her voice filled with resolve. I will go to the Evershade Forest. The elves have long been our allies, and their connection to the natural world makes them invaluable in this fight. I will travel to the Ironclad Mountains, Aryaman declared. The dwarves are known for their unmatched craftsmanship and their indomitable spirit. Their weapons and fortifications could turn the tide of the war. Kalarathri's voice, though ethereal, carried an unmistakable authority. I shall guide Aryaman. My knowledge of the ancient paths will help us reach the dwarves swiftly. But remember, Aryaman, the dwarves are proud and wary. They will not easily pledge their allegiance. The elder then turned to Aryaman with a grave expression. The mages of the Astral Tower are the most enigmatic of all. Their magic is unparalleled, but they are isolated, trusting no one. Convincing them to join the alliance will be your greatest challenge. With their missions clear, Aryaman and Ananya shared a brief but meaningful glance before parting ways. Ananya set off towards the Evershade Forest, while Aryaman, guided by Kalarathri, began the arduous journey to the Ironclad Mountains. The journey was fraught with peril. The path to the mountains was treacherous, winding through dark valleys and across roaring rivers. Yet Aryaman pressed on, driven by his sense of duty and the knowledge that the fate of the realm rested on his shoulders. Kalarathri's presence was a constant comfort, her wisdom guiding them through the most dangerous terrains. As they neared the Ironclad Mountains, Aryaman marveled at the towering peaks that seemed to touch the sky. The mountains were home to the dwarves, a race known for their resilience and mastery of stone and metal. Aryaman knew that convincing them to join the sacred alliance would not be easy. The dwarves were a proud people, and their loyalty was hard won. Upon reaching the entrance to the Dwarven kingdom, Aryaman was met with a formidable gate carved into the mountain itself, guarded by a battalion of heavily armored dwarves. Their leader, a stern-faced dwarf named Thrain Ironfist, eyed Aryaman with suspicion. State your business, traveler, Thrain demanded, his voice echoing in the cavernous entrance. I am Aryaman, guardian of Shialkodi, Aryaman replied, standing tall. I come seeking an alliance with the dwarves of the Ironclad Mountains. The darkness that threatens our realm is growing stronger, and we must stand together if we are to defeat it. Thrain studied Aryaman carefully, his eyes narrowing. The dwarves do not enter into alliances lightly. What proof do you have that the threat is as dire as ye say? Aryaman stepped forward, unflinching. I have faced the darkness myself. I have battled the Sorcerer Sorat and vanquished Malakar, but their forces are only a fraction of what lies ahead. The realm of Shialkodi will not survive without the strength of the dwarves. Thrain was silent for a long moment, his gaze never leaving Aryaman's. Then, with a nod, he gestured for Aryaman to follow him. Very well, you will speak with King Thorak, our ruler. It is he who will decide if we join a sacred alliance. The halls of the Dwarven kingdom were magnificent, carved from the living rock and adorned with intricate patterns of gold and silver. Aryaman was led to the throne room, where King Thorak sat upon a grand throne of stone, his presence commanding respect. Aryaman, guardian of Shialkodi, King Thorak began, his voice deep and resonant. Thrain tells me you seek our aid against a great darkness. Speak, and tell me why the dwarves should risk their lives in this war. Aryaman recounted the events leading up to this moment, the growing darkness, the battles he had fought, and the allies he sought to gather. He spoke of the sacred alliance and how the strength of the dwarves could tip the balance in their favor. King Thorak listened intently, his expression unreadable. When Aryaman finished, the king leaned forward, his eyes narrowing. Yes, speak with conviction, Aryaman. But the dwarves have their own battles to fight. Our minds are under siege by creatures of the deep, and our people are divided. Why should we join your fight when we cannot even guarantee our own survival? Aryaman paused, considering his words carefully. Because our fates are intertwined. If the darkness consumes Shielkodi, it will not stop at our borders. Your minds, your people, your kingdom, all will fall under its shadow. But if we unite, we can stand against this threat. The dwarves are known for their resilience and strength. Together, we can forge a future where our people live free from fear. King Thorak remained silent, his gaze piercing. After what felt like an eternity, he finally spoke. You are wise beyond your years, Aryaman. The dwarves will join a sacred alliance, but on one condition. Help us reclaim our minds from the creatures that have overrun them, and you will have our loyalty. Aryaman nodded, determination in his eyes. I accept your challenge, King Thorak. Together, we will reclaim your minds and forge the sacred alliance that will save Shielkodi. And so, the next leg of Aryaman's journey began. With the strength of the dwarves by his side, he prepared to face the challenges that lay ahead. The creatures of the deep awaited, and the path to the sacred alliance was fraught with danger. But Aryaman knew that with courage, resolve, and unity, they could overcome any obstacle. With the dwarves of the ironclad mountains now part of the sacred alliance, Aryaman set his sights on the next and most elusive ally, the mages of the astral tower. The mages were known for their immense magical power, but they were also reclusive, existing in a world apart from the rest of Shielkodi. Convincing them to join the alliance would be Aryaman's greatest challenge yet. The journey to the astral tower was long and arduous. Kalaratri guided Aryaman through dense forests, over treacherous mountain passes, and across vast plains where the winds howled like restless spirits. The land seemed to grow more mysterious and otherworldly the closer they got to the astral tower. The sky was often filled with swirling clouds, and strange, ethereal lights danced on the horizon. As they approached the tower, Aryaman was struck by its otherworldly beauty. The astral tower was a massive spire of shimmering crystal, reaching far into the sky. It seemed to pulse with an inner light, casting a gentle glow over the surrounding landscape. The air around the tower was thick with magical energy, making every breath feel charged with power. At the base of the tower, Aryaman was met by a figure clad in flowing robes of deep indigo, a hood obscuring their face. The figure's voice was soft, yet it carried an unmistakable authority. Guardian of Shielkodi, the mages of the astral tower have been expecting you. But know this, the path to our alliance is not one that can be walked with words alone. You must prove yourself worthy of our trust. Aryaman nodded, understanding the gravity of the challenge. I am prepared to face whatever trials you require. The darkness is growing stronger, and we need your power to save Shielkodi. The mage gestured for Aryaman to follow, leading him into the heart of the tower. Inside, the tower was a labyrinth of winding corridors and spiraling staircases, all made of the same glowing crystal. The walls seemed to shift and change as they walked, as if the tower itself was alive and observing Aryaman. Finally, they reached a vast chamber at the tower's peak. The room was filled with floating orbs of light, each one holding a piece of ancient knowledge. At the center of the chamber stood a grand altar, surrounded by the 7 high mages of the astral tower. They were a formidable group, each mage radiating an aura of immense power. The leader of the high mages, an elder with eyes like the night sky, spoke first. Aryaman, guardian of Shielkodi, ye seek our aid in the battle against the darkness. But power such as ours is not given lightly. To earn our alliance, you must undergo the trial of the astral flame. Aryaman stood tall, his resolve unshaken. What does this trial entail? The elder's gaze bore into Aryaman's soul. The astral flame is the source of our power. It has a living essence of magic, capable of great creation and destruction. To pass the trial, you must prove your strength, wisdom, and purity of heart by facing the flame itself. Should you succeed, the mages of the astral tower will join a sacred alliance. But beware, the flame does not suffer the unworthy. Without hesitation, Aryaman agreed. I accept the trial. I will face the astral flame. The high mages nodded in unison, and with a wave of the elder's hand, the chamber transformed. The orbs of light converged at the center, merging into a single, blazing orb that pulsed with raw, unbridled energy. The astral flame hovered above the altar, its light illuminating the entire chamber with a brilliance that was almost blinding. The elder mage stepped aside, allowing Aryaman to approach the altar. Step into the light of the astral flame, and let it judge a war. Aryaman took a deep breath, feeling the immense pressure of the moment. He closed his eyes and stepped into the light. As the astral flame enveloped him, he felt an overwhelming surge of power, as if the very essence of magic was flowing through his veins. The world around him faded, and Aryaman found himself in a vast, endless void, with the astral flame burning brightly before him. The flame spoke, not with words, but with feelings and images that echoed in his mind. The first trial was one of strength. The flame conjured visions of the battles Aryaman had fought, the enemies he had faced, and the trials he had endured. The challenges were replayed before him, but this time they were more intense, more ferocious. Aryaman fought with all his might, reliving the battles but with the knowledge and experience he had gained. He felt the flame testing his resolve, pushing him to his limits. Yet, each time, Aryaman rose to the challenge, his strength unwavering. The second trial was one of wisdom. The flame presented Aryaman with a series of dilemmas, each more complex than the last. It showed him visions of the future, possible outcomes of the war against the darkness, and the consequences of his decisions. Aryaman had to choose paths that would lead to the greater good, even when the choices were difficult. He had to weigh the lives of his allies, the fate of Shialkodi, and his own desires. Each choice was a test of his wisdom, and each decision brought him closer to understanding the true nature of leadership. The final trial was one of the heart. The flame delved into Aryaman's deepest fears and desires, bringing forth visions of his past, his loved ones, and the sacrifices he had made. The flame showed him Ananya, standing on a cliff's edge, her face filled with sorrow. It showed him the wolf wife he had married to save his life, her eyes filled with love and acceptance. The flame asked him if he could truly balance his duty with his heart, if he could protect those he loved while carrying the burden of the guardian. Aryaman felt his emotions swell, but he remained resolute. I will protect Shialkodi, and I will honor the love I have for those dear to me. My duty as guardian does not diminish my love, it strengthens it. The astral flame pulsed brightly, its light growing even more intense. Aryaman could feel it probing his very soul, searching for any hint of doubt or darkness. But Aryaman's heart was pure, his resolve unbroken. He had faced the flame and remained true to himself. Suddenly, the void shattered, and Aryaman found himself back in the chamber with the high mages. The astral flame, now dim, returned to its place above the altar. The elder mage stepped forward, a look of deep respect in his eyes. You have passed the trial of the astral flame, the elder announced, his voice filled with awe. You have proven yourself worthy of our trust and our power. The mages of the astral tower will join a sacred alliance. Aryaman bowed deeply, his heart filled with gratitude. Thank you. Together, we will stand against the darkness and protect Shialkodi. With the mages of the astral tower now part of the alliance, Aryaman knew the sacred alliance was nearly complete. The forces of light were gathering, and the time to confront the darkness was drawn near. But Aryaman also knew that the battle ahead would be unlike any he had faced before. The final confrontation with the dark forces of Sorat would determine the fate of the realm. As Aryaman left the astral tower, he felt a renewed sense of purpose. The trials had tested him in ways he had never imagined, but they had also strengthened his resolve. The sacred alliance was ready, and with the combined strength of the elves, dwarves, and mages, Aryaman was prepared to lead the charge against the darkness. The night was quiet, with only the gentle rustling of the wind through the trees breaking the silence. Aryaman stood at the edge of the hill, gazing out at the lands of Shialkodi, now free from the oppressive darkness that had once threatened to engulf it. The stars above glittered like diamonds against the velvety black sky, a reminder of the vastness of the world and the endless possibilities that lay ahead. Yet, even in this moment of peace, Aryaman's thoughts were restless. He knew that the battle with Sorat, though the most formidable, was not the end of his journey. His role as the guardian of Shialkodi was one of perpetual vigilance, and he could sense that the world was already beginning to change in ways that no one could yet foresee. The Sacred Alliance had accomplished a great victory, but Aryaman understood that the aftermath of such a battle was just as crucial as the fight itself. The scars left by Sorat's reign of terror would take time to heal, and the people of Shielkodi would need guidance as they rebuilt their lives and communities. As dawn broke over the horizon, bathing the land in golden light, Aryaman descended the hill and returned to the heart of the village, where the Sacred Alliance had established their temporary base of operations. The village, once devastated by Sorat's forces, was already beginning to show signs of renewal. Homes were being rebuilt, fields were being tilled, and the people were coming together to forge a new future. Alara, the elven queen, greeted Aryaman as he entered the village square. Her eyes, usually so calm and composed, were filled with a mixture of relief and determination. The people look to us for leadership, Aryaman, she said. They have suffered greatly, but they are resilient. We must ensure that the unity we have forged in battle carries through into this time of peace. Aryaman nodded in agreement. The victory we have won is only the beginning. We must work together to rebuild what was lost and to protect Shielkodi from any future threats. The light we have restored must never be allowed to fade. Drain, the dwarven king, approached, his expression serious. The dwarves stand ready to assist in the rebuilding efforts. Our forges will burn day and night to supply the materials needed to restore the homes and defenses of our people. But we must also be cautious. Sorat may be gone, but there are always those who seek to exploit times of weakness. Aryan, the archmage, joined the discussion, his staff glowing faintly with residual magic. I will coordinate with the mages to erect wards around the villages and towns. These barriers will help protect against any remnants of dark magic that might linger in the shadows. But we must also focus on education, teaching the next generation the importance of balance, so that they may guard against future dangers. Faelvan, the druidic leader, added her voice to the conversation. The land itself will need time to heal. We must work in harmony with nature, helping the forests and fields to recover. The spirits of the earth are with us, but they too require our aid in restoring balance to this realm. Kalaratri, standing by Aryaman's side, spoke up as well. And we must not forget the people. They need hope, something to believe in as they rebuild their lives. We should continue to inspire them, to show them that they are not alone in this journey. The strength of Shielkodi lies not just in its warriors, but in every person who calls this land home. As the leaders of the Sacred Alliance discussed their plans for the future, Aryaman listened intently, weighing each suggestion carefully. He knew that his role was not just to lead in battle, but to guide the people of Shielkodi through the challenges that lay ahead. His heart swelled with pride as he saw the unity and resolve in his companions. This was the true strength of Shielkodi, and it was his duty to ensure that it endured. Over the next few weeks, the Sacred Alliance worked tirelessly to rebuild Shielkodi. Villages were restored, defenses were reinforced, and the people began to return to their daily lives, though the memories of the battle still lingered. Aryaman traveled from village to village, offering his support and guidance, and reassuring the people that they were safe once more. In the capital city, where Sorat's darkness had once cast its longest shadow, Aryaman addressed a gathering of leaders from all the different factions: elves, dwarves, mages, druids, and humans. They had come together to discuss the future of Shielkodi and how they could ensure that such a threat would never rise again. The darkness has been defeated, but we must remain vigilant, Aryaman said, his voice carrying across the assembly. We have seen what happens when we allow division and fear to weaken us. But we have also seen the power of unity and hope. Let us continue to stand together, to protect this land and its people, so that the light of Shielkodi will never be extinguished. The leaders nodded in agreement, and a new pact was formed, one that would bind them together in peace, just as the battle against Sorat had bound them together in war. This pact, known as the Covenant of Shielkodi, would be the foundation of a new era of cooperation and mutual protection. As the days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months, Shielkodi began to flourish once more. The scars of war faded, replaced by fields of crops, bustling marketplaces, and thriving communities. The people of Shielkodi, inspired by the leadership of Aryaman and the Sacred Alliance, took pride in their land and in each other. But even as peace settled over the realm, Aryaman knew that his journey was not yet complete. The goddess Shielkodi had chosen him to be the guardian of this land, and with that title came the responsibility of ensuring its safety for generations to come. There were still dark forces in the world, lurking in the shadows, waiting for their chance to strike. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Aryaman found himself once again on the hill overlooking the lands of Shielkodi. Kalaratri joined him, her presence a comfort and constant in his life. You, weighed done well, Aryaman, she said softly. Shielkodi is safe, and the people are at peace. But I can see that something still weighs on your mind. Aryaman sighed, his gaze fixed on the distant mountains. There will always be threats, Kalaratri. Even now, I can sense that the darkness is not truly gone. It is out there, somewhere, waiting for its moment to return. And when it does, I must be ready. Kalaratri placed her hand on his arm, her touch grounding him. And you will be. You are the guardian of Shielkodi, Aryaman, and you have the strength of the gods, of your allies, and of the people behind you. Whatever challenges come our way, we will face them together. Aryaman turned to look at her, his heart filled with love and gratitude. As long as I have you by my side, Kalaratri, I know that we can overcome anything. She smiled, her eyes shining with affection. Then let us not worry about the future right now. Let us enjoy the peace we earned, and when the time comes, we all face whatever challenges arise. Together, they stood on the hill, watching as the stars began to twinkle in the night sky. The future was uncertain, but Aryaman knew that as long as they remained united, the light of Shielkodi would never fade. And so, under the starlit sky, Aryaman made a silent vow to protect the land he loved, to be the guardian that Shielkodi needed, and to ensure that the legacy of the Sacred Alliance would endure for all time. Season 2 teaser, a new threat arises. As the realm of Shielkodi begins to rebuild, new whispers of danger begin to emerge. Far to the north, in the icy wastelands of the Frostspire, a new power is awakening, a force that seeks to conquer Shielkodi and plunge it into an age of ice and shadow. Season 2 of Guardian of Shielkodi, Protector of the Realm will follow Aryaman and his companions as they journey to the Frostspire to confront this new threat. New allies, ancient enemies, and untold secrets await them in a land where even the light of the ley lines struggles to survive. Season 2 teaser, a new threat arises. The Frostspire awakens. In the aftermath of the climactic battle that saved Shielkodi, the realm begins to heal. The people rejoice in their newfound peace, and the guardians are celebrated as heroes. But as the land recovers, far to the north, in the desolate and frozen region known as the Frostspire, a new and sinister force starts. The Frostspire, a land untouched by the warmth of the sun, has long been shrouded in mystery and fear. Ancient legends speak of a power buried deep beneath the ice, a force of unimaginable cold that has the potential to rival the darkest of magics. This force, forgotten by time, has begun to awaken, its icy tendrils reaching out across the land, bringing with them an unnatural winter that threatens to consume all in its path. Whispers of the ice. As the frost spreads, whispers of a new threat reach the ears of the guardians. Reports of entire villages encased in ice, of forests frozen in an instant, and of a chilling darkness that even the light of the ley lines cannot penetrate. The once dormant Frostspire has become active, and its malevolent power is growing. Aryaman, ever vigilant, senses the growing danger. Though they have just emerged victorious against the heart of darkness, he knows that their work is far from over. The peace they have fought so hard to secure is once again under threat, this time by a power that is as ancient as the realm itself. A call to action. The guardians of Shielkodi are summoned once more. Their mission is clear, they must journey to the Frostspire, uncover the source of this new threat, and stop it before it can engulf the entire realm in an eternal winter. But the Frostspire is no ordinary land, it is a place where even the ley lines struggle to maintain their strength, where the cold is so intense it can freeze the very soul. Aryaman, Kalaratri, Thrain, Alara, Aryan, and Lyra must prepare themselves for a journey unlike any they have undertaken before. New allies will need to be forged, ancient magics must be unlocked, and secrets long buried in the ice will need to be revealed. But as they venture into the heart of the Frostspire, they will find that this new enemy is far more dangerous than anything they have faced before, a force of nature that seeks not just to conquer Shielkodi, but to reshape it in its own frozen image. The Icy Shadow looms. Season 2 of Guardian of Shielkodi, Protector of the Realm Natchathirakuri promises to be an epic tale of survival, sacrifice, and the unyielding will to protect the realm against all odds. As Aryaman and his companions face this new threat, they will be tested in ways they never imagined, forging new bonds and confronting old fears as they battle against the creeping ice and the dark power that controls it. Part 1. The Gathering Sill. After the battle that secured peace in Shielkodi, the land enters a time of renewal. The Guardians, hailed as saviors, take a moment to rest and reflect on the trials they have overcome. The realm, once shadowed by the darkness of the heart, is now bathed in light, its people hopeful for a future free of terror. But the peace is fragile. Far to the north, in the forgotten and frozen wastes of the Frostspire, an ancient force stirs from its long slumber. The Frostspire, a land where the cold is so intense that even the strongest magic struggles to survive, has always been a place of mystery and dread. For centuries, it has remained dormant, its icy peaks standing as silent sentinels over the land. But now, the ice begins to crack, and from the depths of the frozen earth, a chilling power rises. Strange occurrences are reported from the northern borders. Once fertile lands are found frozen solid overnight, and entire villages are discovered encased in ice, their inhabitants trapped in eerie stillness, frozen in time. The frost spreads with a terrifying speed, as if guided by a malevolent hand. The ley lines, the lifeblood of Shielkodi, struggle to hold back the encroaching cold, their energy flickering like a dying flame. Aryaman, sensing the growing danger, calls upon his fellow guardians. Their battle against the heart of darkness had been grueling, but Aryaman knows that their fight is far from over. A new darkness, born of ice and shadow, threatens to engulf the realm. He gathers his companions, Kalaratri, Thrain, Alara, Aryan, and Lyra, and together they prepare to face this new challenge. Part 2. Into the Frostspire. The Guardians set out on a journey to the Frostspire, a land few have ever dared to explore. As they travel north, the air grows colder, and the land around them begins to change. The warmth of the sun fades, replaced by a biting chill that cuts to the bone. The trees, once vibrant with life, stand as lifeless sentinels, their branches weighed down by frost. Rivers freeze over, and the sky takes on a permanent, icy hue. As they draw closer to the Frostspire, the source of the unnatural winter becomes clearer. Ancient, forgotten magics have awoken, and with them, a being of immense power, an entity that embodies the very essence of cold and darkness. This being, known in legend as the Icebound Wraith, seeks to expand its dominion over all of Shielkodi, plunging the realm into an eternal winter. But the Frostspire holds more than just the wraith. It has a land steeped in ancient secrets, with a history that predates even the oldest of the ley lines. The Guardians must navigate a treacherous landscape of ice and shadow, uncovering the forgotten law of the Frostspire to stand a chance against the wraith. They will encounter new allies, powerful beings who have slumbered in the ice, waiting for the day when they would be called upon to defend the realm. But they will also face enemies unlike any they have ever known, creatures born of ice, resistant to their magic, and driven by a singular desire to see the world frozen. As Aryaman and his companions delve deeper into the Frostspire, they begin to realize the true scale of the threat they face. This is not just a battle for Shielkodi, but for the survival of warmth, light, and life itself. The icebound wraith is no mere foe, it is a force of nature, as ancient and unstoppable as time. Season 2 of Guardian of Shielkodi, Protector of the Realm Natchathirakuri will push the Guardians to their limits, testing their resolve, their strength, and their unity. In the face of this overwhelming chill, they must find new ways to harness the power of the ley lines, uncover forgotten magics, and forge alliances with beings from a bygone age. As the frost continues to spread and the icebound wraith's power grows, the Guardians will be faced with their greatest challenge yet. Can they protect the realm from a threat that seeks to freeze the very heart of Shealgodi?